What's going on, everybody? I appreciate you all checking in. Bad teams find ways to lose, but in this case, I think a lot of us we okay with it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You never want to lose to the Chiefs without question, right? You don't want to ever lose to a Chiefs, the Broncos, Chargers, nothing like that. But at the end of the day, I think we're all fighting for something a little different. But hey, Aiden O'Connell came in, gave us a spark. We're going to talk about it. We're also going to look at the stats. I think we're also going to bring up the presser. AP just got done with his presser. We'll bring that up if you guys haven't been able to check it out. But again, ultimately, at the end of the day, bad teams figure out ways to lose. It's really that simple. There's no other way to kind of sugarcoat it. But we're going to kind of break this game down. We'll take a look real quick before all the games start this weekend, just kind of what Tankathon has us at, and we're still sitting at number 2. We'll take a look at that, but we're going to break this thing down. But I wouldn't break it down with any other. I got my guy Chris at the Protection Show podcast, as well as the Severe Raider. Wherever you guys are at, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you do know when we go live, and everybody on this panel when we drop new content. But Chris, man, how you feeling? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good now. Wish we everybody know kind of where I'm at. So it's always bittersweet, but I almost thought the Raiders can't even tank right, man. So I'm like, if we win this game, I was telling everybody, if we won this game, we're gonna have Quinn Ewers next year as our quarterback. So I'm like, at the end of the day, let's and again, y'all know how I feel about the whole tanking, but whatever, it is what it is, man.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I think a lot of the fan base, we're all kind of on the same page, but we'll see what's going on. Severe, brother, how you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm feeling good, man. I feel a great weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I was sweating bullets. I was feeling a little hot under the collar and all that stuff, man. I was, it got real close there. We almost messed around and won a meaningless game. But this is a perfect game. This is just what I want to see from the Raiders, right? You go out there, you fight hard, you play tough, and then you lose at the end. It's good entertainment value. Good entertainment value. Got some great entertainment. Got to see Brock go off. Sincere looked good. Aiden looked good. I was happy. We lost. Oh, that's everything.
Great Black Friday game. That's what it was.
Perfect.
The NFL won.
Yeah.
The NFL won. That's who won.
That was a hell of a game for a national televised game. Yeah. I mean, in the Raiders, because honestly, when we first announced it, I'm like, okay, well, maybe we're gonna play them good in earlier season. Then when I saw how we've been playing, I'm like, we're gonna be on national TV and get embarrassed. But I'm proud of the guys, man. They fought hard, and like I always say, man, this team is not giving up on AP. AP has not lost his locker room.
Yeah.
No, they're fighting 100%. But I'll tell you right now, I think what we do know is that no matter what side you stand on, when it be the quarterback or what have you, what this game did was opened up more controversy on whether or not AP should be the head coach, because this team is fighting. And 2, the Aiden O'Connell, the guys that want Aiden O'Connell to be that quarterback. I mean, the thing is that he came out and I got my opinion on it, and we're definitely going to share it. We're going to talk about Aiden O'Connell because we'll bring up the stats. But at the end of the day, he did his thing. Again, we'll look at the stats. 340 plus yards. I'll tell you right now, he screwed over my three-leg parlay bet. I'll tell you that right now.
You did the under?
Take the under.
I was it. So I did a pick or a single game parlay bet, right?
Yeah.
And so I basically put 3. I had Amir Abdullah over 4.5 receiving yards.
Okay.
I had DeAndre Hopkins over 37 receiving yards, which he got. And then I had Aiden O'Connell under 299 passing yards.
Oh, dang.
And that's what killed me.
I probably would have did that too.
I would have taken the under 299 passing yards.
Yeah. It wasn't for that long completion at the end. I think you got real close. If the Chiefs run it on that 4th down and they get it, you're set. You're good.
Exactly.
Game. It's ball game.
I mean, I was sweating a little bit because Amir Abdullah didn't get his 4.5 plus until like the last drive.
Yeah.
So I was sweating a little bit. But yeah, it killed me. God Damn it, I never bet on the damn Raiders. No, but you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Aiden O'Connell, he came out and he balled. He did his thing, and again, I'll have my opinion on it. We'll definitely talk about it. But it's just going to spark the Aiden O'Connell fans out there. And you know what? Have fun. Talk what you want. You know what I'm saying? You do your thing. Now's your time to do it. Because again, at the end of the day, what I will say is this league is about what have you done for me lately? That's what it is. That's what this league is about. And when something sparks, now everybody gets to talk about it. But before we get into it again, we're going to hit the stats. We're going to break this game down. We're going to bring up the presser, all that. We'll talk about it. And we'll definitely talk about some highlight, some players that sparked, but also, again, we'll talk a little bit about just why we always do. Bad teams figure out ways to lose. And that's what we did today. So, but everybody in the building, I appreciate everybody pulling up. We got Robert Penny in the building. I appreciate you. Me, you in the building. Always good to see you. Let's go. Is it iPanda? T.I. I'm
Panda Ty.
You pulling through. I haven't seen you in the building. But I appreciate you coming up. Yaya in the building. I appreciate you as well. Steve, you coming through. Always good seeing you. Alice Ghost, always good. You pulling up. Sun God as well. I'm seeing some comments from you, Hector. Yeah. I'm seeing some comments from you, Hector. All right, so I'll be looking out for you. All right, you keep that up. We'll see what happens. Let's see, Brian Rodriguez. I appreciate you coming in the building as well. Multi-Troy 63 in the building. Appreciate you pulling up. Ricky White. Good seeing you, Dre, for sure. 1, 2, 3. You always in here, man.
Damn
always
straight,
good.
Damn straight, Dre. Damn straight.
Let's go. Any Raider boosters, Jeff. Appreciate you coming up as well. You got Chili Ray in the building. A lot of people coming up. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, salute everybody.
Saddam in the building as well. Taddy 707. Scotty Waddy in the building as well.
Scotty Waddy.
Man, appreciate everybody in the building. Again, we're going to go through the stats. We're going to go ahead and look at the presser, all that stuff. But first, let's talk about a couple positives, all right? One positive for sure. Let's talk about Caleb Von Chasen.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 sacks. Now, he did have that back-to-back. He had a holding call that was pretty brutal last game. He had another one called. It's definitely something he's got to work on. When you're going to jam somebody, get your hands, like just use your shoulder from here on out. Like,
Right.
Just get your hands out of it. But at the end of the day, he had 2 sacks. And this is a guy that definitely may not be, a starter. You're not going to be a starter, but at the end of the day, man, he could be a hell of a rotational piece if we just had to bring him on. But let's talk a little bit about Caleb Von Chasen. Chris, I'll throw it to you first.
Yeah, man, I've been impressed with him so far. I mean, for the most part, for like getting someone this late in the season. Again, I continue to see his motor. However, there are some discipline things that he needs to work on. But as far as you see his bend around the end, the way he uses his hands.
His hands.
Yeah, the way he slaps down
out of Tyree Wilson, right?
Like, oh my God, yeah.
Nothing he does, we see out of Tyree.
exactly. So I mean, but honestly, it's like he's like my man Severe would say, he's like a Timu Malcolm Kuntz or something, man. But but someone like that, I can work with, man. I can have him in the rotation. He's going to give maximum effort. We just got to work on, like we said, just some of the discipline stuff. But I was very impressed with what I saw with him today.
Yeah, man, it was good to see. Severe, what's your take on it?
Yeah, man. Like he's been in since the moment we picked him up, he's been pretty impressive, right? And he's gotten better. He's just continue to get better, and I think that's a testament to Patrick Graham, who we always he talks about all the time. If anything, he spends like too much time with the D linemen because that's his background as a defensive line coach, and Robbie Leonard as well, right? And what that also says is that there's almost no hope for Tyree Wilson.
None.
No hope for Tyree. If we can get production of like Caleb Von Chasen is a guy that couldn't get any run with the Panthers. Charles Snowden is a journeyman. And we've turned both of those guys into like pretty productive NFL players. And Tyree Wilson has yet to almost instantly. And Tyree Wilson is yet to that light switch still ain't flipped for him. Like, I don't know there's no hope. There's nothing
unless
there.
unless he's unblocked. If he's unblocked, he's all American.
He unblocked. He's unblocked.
We
That is
pointed out,
Stevion
right?
Rice. That is Javon Curse, as Ray Transplant called him. Like, he is a monster unblocked. But you as soon as you put somebody in front of him, just think,
Anybody, it could be a running back. If a running back
over
trips him,
for him.
right.
So I mean, like, Chason is a guy we definitely need to bring back as a depth piece. I've been very impressed with just his motor, his hand usage. Like you said, it's some stuff he has to clean up. But I'm good with penalties of aggression, like a holding penalty or unnecessary. I'm okay with those kind of penalties. Just like, as long as it's not at the bad times. But those are penalties of aggression, of effort. I'm okay with that. As long as you're not doing stupid stuff like jumping off sides or lining up in a neutral zone, dumb stuff like that. That's the stuff I have issue with. But the other stuff, I'm okay with that. You can kind of clean that stuff up.
Facts.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. And at the end of the day, I think Caleb Vaughn could be a hell of a rotational piece moving forward. And just build on what success he's gotten so far. And we talked about Tyree Wilson. The hard part about him is, yes, he's had some success, but as we point out in our Tuesday film sessions, he's having success when he's absolutely unblocked. So I don't think there's necessarily growth there, but hopefully it could spark him and maybe we'll get something out of him next year. Because no matter what, I think he'll continue to be on this roster. We'll definitely talk about some positive stuff. We're going to talk about Aiden O'Connell. We're also going to talk about the run game. The run game had a spark. All right. But before we get into that, again, a lot of you guys, Scotty Rodiga, I appreciate you coming in the building as well. R. Jenkins in the building. U Cargo. That was a stupid game in the end. When the ball was snapped, the play was called dead. So the fumble recovers after the play ended. Raiders should have kept the ball and win the game. That was the refs. It
wasn't called dead. It wasn't called dead.
I think it was still a live ball, but I honestly
they
sure.
really only call it dead if it's like an encroachment or something. But if it's illegal,
or uninvaded to the quarterback,
as long as it's that, then they let the play out, and then whoever the penalty is not against, they can make a decision if they want to take the result of the play or take the penalty.
So hold up, let me ask you though, because the call was technically an illegal shift.
Yeah.
Was the shift that play called dead?
No,
it was. Wait, was it illegal shift or was it illegal formation?
I think it was the legal shift because Brock was still moving.
I don't know. They didn't blow it dead though.
Yeah,
I know they didn't blow it dead. I was wondering if it should have been a dead ball foul.
Yeah, they said it was a legal formation. That's what I thought. I thought it was a legal formation. It
was legal formation.
I thought that's what they said.
They said it was a legal formation. Okay.
I thought that's what.
Okay, then the play continues if it's a legal formation. Yeah. Okay. Chris Woodson in the building. I appreciate you coming through. Ken Kress as well in the building. Jack Ken, always good seeing you. San Antonio Raider. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Appreciate you pulling up as well. Let me see who else is in the bill. SoCal Sal. Always good. Jay Money as well. Pulling up. Let's go Thrill 2020. Let's see. I want to make sure I get to everybody again. Emily Baxter. Haven't seen you in a little bit. Appreciate you coming through. You always got good stuff to say. I always know you got comments as well. Everybody, make sure you hit that hashtag Raiders. Then give me either a comment or something or a question you got for the panel. I'll definitely pull it up. Nada in the building. Always good seeing you. So let's do this. We'll talk about Aiden O'Connell in a second. But let's talk about the running game. The running game for me, I feel like that's what we get when we have running backs that are shifty enough and do a good job of finding the hole. Again, something we always point out in our Tuesday film sessions. It made a difference. But I'm gonna throw it to you, Severe Man. What were your thoughts on the run game? Because we had a run, and we'll pull up the stats here in a second and talk about it.
Man, Sincere looked good, man. Sincere is a guy that he looked good. Amir Abdullah, he had a run or two I was impressed with as well. So both those guys, that they showed up. Those are both guys that were buried on the depth chart. And I'm happy to see that we're getting some production out of those guys, especially Sincere. I don't know if Amir is going to be back, but Sincere, he's still a young guy. He's a guy that there's still some potential there to be mined. And he's a guy that can be a piece with us kind of going forward, right? He's still fairly young in the league, and he's somebody that can be on the team for years to come. Whereas Abdullah, he's kind of, at the end of end of his time in the league. So happy to see it for both of them. I've liked Amir Abdullah ever since he was at Nebraska, but really happy to see that out of Sincere.
Yeah, man. And real quick, Ricky, I don't know if I said what's up to you. Appreciate you in the building as well. Chris, I'm gonna throw it to you, and as I throw it to you, I'm gonna actually we'll pull up the stats. We'll kind of actually we'll do the presser first, then we'll do the stats. But Chris, thoughts on the running game, man? Let me know what your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm someone that's been pretty critical of Sincere. Been having my jokes and stuff, but I have to say that he really impressed me. Just his burst and ability to find the hole, pause, and just watching him run, he's shifty. Hey man, we'll never end with that. But anyway, but he runs hard. He can make someone miss. He doesn't necessarily always go down, from the first tackle. You see him running through arm tackles and things like that. To me, he is way better than Zeus. I mean, from all standpoints. I mean, Zeus blocks better, but you got somebody that can find a little, he has a little wiggle. I think he caught a couple passes. I mean, we'll probably bring up the stats, but I think he did well. And just like Severe said, Abdullah had some good runs. He ran strong a couple times. I didn't even realize that was him. I thought it was almost like Matt, but then I realized Madison wasn't playing. But I think if we get some backs that can, follow their blocks, it'll make that line look a little bit better. So we'll see.
I'm with you. And here's my thing is, as much as it looked better, I think the one part, and again, we're kind of at the part of the season to where we're kind of just evaluating, you know what I'm saying? And so having certain specific type of running backs for certain situations probably isn't the biggest factor. But man, on that 4th and short, and you're handing the ball off to an undersized, Sincere McCormick, it's like you almost want that bigger, like you want a Zamir White that maybe can be a little bit of a bruiser to just get that short yardage. So it sucks. We're in that situation right now to where those 4th and shorts, those goal line carries, man, it's like shit. Who's Myalga that we were actually running at fullback a couple times?
Yeah.
Just put him at running back. I mean, you're putting him at fullback because maybe he's had some running back experience in his past. That's the only reason why you transfer a linebacker over to the opposite side to play fullback is because maybe he has some history at playing in the backfield. Maybe he was at college or what have you. And so those short yardage situations, it's like, man, you don't want Sincere McCormick. You don't want Amir Abdullah in that backfield. But
no,
that's the situation that we're in. Again, I don't think we're prepping our roster for the now. It's more for the future. But we're going to go ahead and get into the press conference. But before we do, got to shout out to more people. Huey P in the building. I appreciate you. Old school as well in the building. House Junkies coming through. Always good seeing you. We got Outlaw of Torn. You're in the building as well. Always good seeing you here. And Fernando in the building. Appreciate you coming up as well. So again, guys, I got Chris Protect Show podcast on one side. I got the Severe Raider. I'm 805 Raider, Real Talk Raider Nation. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn those notifications. It definitely helps us out, and we appreciate seeing all you guys in the building. But let's jump into the presser. We're going to see what AP had to say after the game. Obviously, it did not end well. I'm sure he'll talk about it for a second, whether it be about the snap or one thing I want to mention is, man, Amir Abdullah, get out of bounds. Get your ass out of bounds. If you get out of bounds, we save ourselves damn near 14, 15 seconds off that clock. But let's go ahead. We're going to hit this presser real quick and see what AP had to say. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Yep.
No, we're fine. I actually had to watch. I mean, there's a lot. Last play, there's a lot going on, from officiating to the flag to the ball being snapped. I gotta look at film.
I know it was a lost AP, but what a gutsy performance by Aiden. Would you discuss that?
Yeah, I think Aiden, our team, the effort, the fighting, throughout, these guys battled even at the very end till the clock hit 0. These guys believed that we were going to win, and they fought their asses off to the end. All 3 phases at some point contribute to helping us get in that position. But Aiden did obviously a hell of a job. He stayed in the pocket, made some big time throws for us, was able to push the ball down the field. Obviously the numbers say what they say, but he really stepped up. Proud of him. Just proud of my team, proud of our team, proud of the fight. We came up short yet again. That's the world champs. That's twice now. I thought this season we played it very hard and had opportunities there to win it and put ourselves in position to win it. And man, there's no fight. The record is what it is, but this is a team that's prideful, that's playing for one another. There's no quit. There's no putting their head down and but you can't, I don't know what you keep saying at the losses, right? And we just gotta keep battling. They have some time off and we'll regroup. But one thing I'm not gonna, take away is the effort, the pride, and the way they compete.
Kind of going through the thought process on Daniel's 58-yard field goal. First ran the punter out, then called the timeout.
Yeah, just look. Yeah, just give our kicker. I mean, our special's been right between AJ and Daniel, and I know he missed 2, and you can hear that our guys on the sideline really believed in him. And hell, I didn't blink. So we brought out the punter. You know what? Looking at the time, we came here to win. So felt good about our defense where we was at that standpoint, regardless of where they got the ball, that we go out there. And even though he missed it, we did get another 3 and out. We gave our offense a chance.
On the last play, basically trying to get a few more yards there to get into better field goal position.
You talking about when the ball's – no, we was going to snap the ball and really just throw the ball out of bounds and just the ball's at the 32-yard line and kill 4 or 5 more seconds, kick a 49-yard field goal.
Could you talk about the emergence of Sincere? I mean, he's
Yeah.
coming along.
This is a dude that he's earning more reps. He'll keep playing for us, and the way he's running, tough, physical, hard nose, bouncing off, fresh legs. You just look at our we've had in a long, long time, 25 attempts for 116, but him averaging 5.3 versus that defense and his style of play and his physicality really showed up. Just dominant. Just, obviously one of the better players on our team. Keep finding a way to find the ball. The bigger the moment, the bigger this rookie stands up and makes plays. So, it's impressive to watch, especially late in the ball game, making really big plays for us, tough catches. A really good football player.
Obviously, no moral pictures, but you got a lot of young guys step up. Brock Bowers, Trey Tucker, talk about just some of their growth.
Yeah, you love to see it. You love to see these guys continue to battle, play hard. Like we keep talking about, and I've said it, as in our weekly meetings and pressers, that next man up mentality. These guys are making the most of it, and you never know when your number's gonna be called. Again, the Sinceres like that. Aiden, being on IR for a couple of weeks, coming in, really stepping up, and just and listen, be honest, our whole team. Like I said, I'm gonna keep talking about that. It could be a lot of narratives, but the way this team fought, the effort, how competitive they were, and how they stuck together, that'll be us the rest of the season.
Five sacks. We talk about, with all the starters, this defense is down and it's going against a prolific offense.
And they played their tails off, 44, 98, 96, the whole defense, but really that went back and forth. Even, the way our coverage was and 15 making the throws that he's able to make and the way, this really good team on offense, but I thought we were relentless. I thought we had a much better plan and understood the rush coordination, which we talked about throughout the week, of how to rush Patrick and how to keep him in the pocket. And, credit to those guys, and I thought at times I don't know if we frustrated him, but I know he felt us, right? And I think that was the biggest thing. Sacks are great, but the more we can put hits on him and the pressure, that was better for us. Yeah, I answered that a minute ago. I was trying to throw the ball away. So we was going to throw the ball away and waste 4 or 5 more seconds and kick a field goal.
That's good.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so there you have it. He's basically saying they're going to try to snap the ball, throw the ball away, waste 4 or 5 more seconds. And I believe that was on. God, was
That was
that a
third
third
down.
down? Or was that
Third
second down?
That's third down. I don't believe him. But I don't believe him because so first of all, I want to address the chat because people keep saying it's a dead ball. I think there was a debate between the refs whether it was a legal formation or a legal shift. If it's an illegal formation is also this signal. It's the same as false start. An illegal shift is this. So one ref might have called illegal formation, another ref called illegal shift. Either
Then they
way,
got talked about it.
it's a play on. Either way, it's a play on. So stop saying it was a false start. It wasn't a false start. They would have blew the whistle dead before the ball was
Right.
snapped. So no whistle was blown at any time. So it's not a false start. But I don't believe AP because on second down he spiked the ball. So if your plan was to just let the clock run down at that position, you just let the clock run down at that position. What he wanted to do was get the ball closer because he didn't trust Carlson to make the kick. But he doesn't want to throw Carlson under the bus. So he's taking the heat for Carlson. That's a good head coach. That's a good leader.
Exactly.
So that's a good leader. He's going to take the slings and arrows from everybody saying, oh, that was a dumb decision. Because what he wanted to do was get as close as he can because Carlson had just missed a kick like 2 drives before. So he was trying to get closer. He got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. We turned the ball over. End of the game.
Spot on.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously with the way Carlson was performing, right? He had that one long one that came up short, but I mean, he just had a bad day.
Yeah,
he had a bad day.
Yeah,
point blank. Period. I do think there's a good chance AP wanted to just kind of get a little bit closer. Yes. Obviously, one thing that I did like to hear is the fact that he's saying, "Look, Sincere McCormick, he deserves more carries," and I think so. And we kind of talked about it before, just how much runners that actually have decent vision and enough agility to kind of, because there was one play, I think it was Sincere McCormick, it was a run to the left side and he bounced the thing outside, got up the near sideline, it was able to rip off. I forget how long it was, but it was at least 10 yards or so. We never saw that out of Zamir White. We never saw that out of Alexander Mattson. But I think this just kind of goes to show that Antonio Pierce, his inability to manage certain situations has really been his downfall this season. Yep. And I understand that there's growing pains. These are things you have to learn, but at the same time, because it continues, you see it almost game in and game out. This is why there's a lot of question marks on whether or not he should be the head coach moving forward. And it's hard because you got all these old heads, right? You got the Marvin Lewises, the Tom Coughlins, the Joe Philbins. Now you even got, Norv Turner up in the building, and you're sitting there and you're still seeing the same mistakes over and over again. So what are these guys here to do to help you?
Right.
Marvin Lewis, you see him all the time, basically at his hip during the games.
Right.
Where's he at when it comes to these type of critical situations? And so it's tough, man. But at the same time, I appreciate everybody building. We're going to jump into the stats. We're going to take a look at it, and that's going to kind of start the Aiden O'Connell talk. So remember, guys, if you guys do have a question or a comment you want me to bring up, just go ahead and hit that hashtag Raiders. It'll catch my eye, and I'll try to bring it up. Let's go ahead and look at the stat line. All right. And so we'll first talk about quarterbacks. Obviously had a slow start. Aiden O'Connell definitely had a slow start, but it was expected. Hasn't played since week 4, 5, I think it was. I forget when he actually got hurt. But started out a little bit slow, but at the end of the day, he ended up 23 of 35, 340 yards and 2 touchdowns. And like I said earlier, it was tough because he killed my prop bet parlay. But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But look, he came in and he did his thing. Definitely in the second half. First half, a little rocky. Had a couple overthrows, but calmed down and was able to kind of produce definitely some good throws downfield that we haven't seen in a while. That deep ball to Trey Tucker, that definitely, that definitely kind of swung the tides a little bit. And so, yeah, 23 to 35, 340 yards, 2 touchdowns, man. Chris, I'll throw it to you, man. What's your thoughts on Aiden O'Connell and how he did?
Yeah, I think Aiden did a lot better than I thought he would do. And to be honest, even he was moving around a little decent a couple times as well. But you know, he made some good throws. He made some bad throws as well. You know, I think there was I know there was at least that one throw that should have been intercepted by Bolton, I believe. But then he had a couple bad throws, but I'm not tripping on that because all quarterbacks, you know, have that because they, you know, the Chiefs are a good defense, no matter how we want to say it. But overall, you know, what I saw in Aiden, you know, he hit, you know, he hit the throws he needed to hit. It seems like he had pretty good command of the offense. You know, he exceeded my expectations, so I will say that. You know, I hope people aren't acting like, you know, this performance is a reason why we shouldn't go get us a quarterback in April for this draft. But, you know, I'm not even going to go there. But just to answer your question, I think Aiden played pretty well. The stats show it.
Yeah, and Severe, I'll throw it to you. The one thing I do want to add is, again, because we break down film every Tuesday and we kind of look at this, one thing that I'm going to be looking for when I kind of go through the film and pull some clips is, was Aiden O'Connell finding the open receivers? It looked like he was going through his progressions pretty well. There's a couple times where he would almost look like he was going through his third and fourth progression. He found Brock Bowers kind of sitting in the flats on the opposite side of where he started his progression. He'd look right, he'd work all the way to the left, and bang, at the very last second, he'd hit someone in the flats.
Yep.
You know, so to me, it felt like, was he able to just kind of see the open receivers and actually find them? Because we know Gardner Minshew was the worst at it. There'd be wide open receivers downfield, and he just could not find them. That's definitely something I'm going to be looking for when we kind of break down the film. But Severe, man, what's your thoughts on Aiden O'Connell and how he did today?
So I expected Aiden to have a good game. I didn't expect it to be this good. I didn't expect him to go over 340. I expected to be like in the 2A, like Nick, like be in the area of 300 yards, just because, you know, like generally when a quarterback hasn't played for a little while, their first game back in there, they usually have like a solid game, right? Usually have a solid game. I harken back to Mike White, right? What did he do? Would you put like 400 plus in his first start for the Jets when they benched Zach Wilson, right? Or I think he might have went back to back like 350 plus games, right? And then the shine quickly wore off him as well. So Aiden's not like a horrible player. I don't think he's not trash, but I don't think he is a NFL starter.
Right.
But I was happy to see him play well, man. I think that'll be good for his confidence. He's still a guy that I've maintained that I want around the organization. I think he's a team player, good locker room guy, he's smart, cerebral guy. So I still would like to have him around the organization, but I don't feel he's a starting caliber quarterback. But man, I was happy to see him do well, man. I think that'll be great for his confidence.
Yeah, I'm with you, and Ken Craig said today's conversation would be completely different if Aiden OC, I'm assuming you're saying wouldn't have been the starter. And I agree. If it was Gardner Minshew, if Gardner Minshew didn't get hurt, it might have been a much longer day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Again, I think we know that based on just what our previous film sessions have looked like with Aiden. Jared, for sure, you're basically saying Aiden was poised on that last drive, reminding me on how he looked like Purdue. He looked poised the majority of the game. It took him a little bit to kind of get his feet underneath him, but he definitely did.
That last drive, he was looking good. It was. It's almost like even if you think back at like Carr, like some quarterbacks are just better with tempo. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it almost looked like that Aiden felt better in tempo.
That's what he played at Purdue. It was like a spread offense. So that's like
take what the defense gives you, and he looked good that last drive. I ain't gonna lie.
He did. And Joe Ray, appreciate you in the building. How do you guys feel about Aiden O'Connell starts the rest of the year and win some games for us, possibly putting us out of the range of the franchise quarterback in the future? I think that's when we first started today's show, like that was our nervousness, right? Towards the tail end of the game, we're sitting there going, oh shit, like he might do it. He might pull this off. But Severe, to your point, that's one of the things is whenever you have a switch at the quarterback, look at what happened with Andy Dalton.
Exactly.
Right? Andy Dalton earlier in the year, they benched Bryce Young, pulled in Andy Dalton. He goes in and looks like an absolute future Hall of Famer against us, but then comes back down to earth the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And now he's benched and Bryce Young's still back. He's now the starter again.
The thing about last year or maybe the year before, Cooper Rush, when he started for the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even this year, right? I think the Packers were 0-2. Malik Willis gets to start, wins 2 games. So it's like, you know,
and who's that Italian kid over in the
Giants?
Giants?
Get in there. Talking about DeVito, I think he got hurt. He got hurt, and then they had to go to Drew Lock. They had to go to QB3. But so yeah, man. A lot of times these backups that they have quick success, is microwave success, but it's not lasting success. But like I said, man, Aiden played well, man. I don't want to take anything away from his performance. I think it's great for his confidence. I completely disagree with any notion that if he started the year, we'd be any better off than we are right now. Like teams would have figured him out by week 3, and we don't win the Ravens game. He wouldn't have won that Ravens game.
No.
So like teams would have figured him out fairly quickly. Just like they figured out Gardner Minshew fairly quickly. It took them a few games to figure him out, and they would have done the same thing with Aiden O'Connell. Like neither one of those guys are starters in the league.
And to your point, look at what happened last year. O'Connell comes in against the Giants after a coaching change, everything, and all of a sudden we put up points on the Giants, and then we all kind of fall back down to earth, right? And so, this is what might happen. Aiden O'Connell gave us kind of a little bit, the offense, a little bit of a spark. And we might find ourselves kind of falling back down to earth. Now, to address the question, I think Aiden O'Connell starts the rest of the season. I think there's no question that he starts the rest of the season. Does it now, or do we have a much better chance at beating the Jags? Absolutely. And so he is putting us at risk of potentially getting that number 1 draft spot next season. But the thing about Aiden O'Connell is we have to know truly what he is. Give him the biggest sample size possible to prove that he could be either a viable backup, what can he contribute in this quarterback room moving forward? Because a video that I posted earlier this morning, I basically said, look, one of the most important positions on a roster is your backup quarterback. And the reason being is because, one, you might have a quarterback go down. And if you need someone that can come in for a quarter or two and you're up by 3 points to just sustain a couple drives and push you through a win, or you have a quarterback that goes down for a game or two, like a Malik Willis situation, to where, Jordan Love goes down for a couple games, and now you just need a quarterback that can maybe win you a game or two and just kind of help that season keep rolling. But most importantly, you need a quarterback that is smart enough, that understands the game, to where when that starting quarterback goes to the sideline and he sits with that iPad and you sit next to him on that bench, he understands the game enough to be able to relay to that starting quarterback, this is what the defense is doing in this type of situation. This is where the pressure's coming from. This is the type of man coverage that they're running. This is how they're dropping into zone. You want that smart quarterback as a backup that's going to be able to help out your starter on the sideline. And the best example I can put out there is Chase Daniels. Chase Daniels made a career as a backup in multiple organizations and teams because they knew that he was smart enough to help out the starter.
Yeah.
In all situations. And so Aiden O'Connell could be that. He's a very smart quarterback. He just because you're smart doesn't always translate to the field. And so I do think no matter what, Aiden O'Connell deserves to start the rest of the season. And we got to see exactly what he is and just how much he can contribute in this quarterback room moving forward and into the offseason. So hopefully that answered your question, Joe Ray. I appreciate it if we went a little deep on that one. One thing, Billy Davis, always good seeing you in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through.
He started his new job on Monday, man. So salute to Billy, man. Make sure you
congratulations, Billy. Hey, man, you got
100%.
Take care of, man.
Good rest this weekend, man.
Grinding. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Always good seeing you, Billy. Let's see. Here we go. And then we got, all right, Sincere McCormick, 12 carries. Now, one thing I want to look at is 35 passing attempts to 25 rushing attempts. a little bit more balance that we've seen in the past. I mean, we threw the ball 52 times last week to 16 rushing, and it looked like, you know, Antonio Pierce was not very happy about that whatsoever. And so, and that was 2 weeks in a row that was very unbalanced. Now, the running game was having some success, but we got Sincere McCormick, 12 carries for 64 yards, a long of 17, Amir Abdullah, 10 for 39. You know, so obviously that was the bulk of the carries, but the running game actually looked a lot better.
It did.
Looked a lot better. Again, definitely a difference between a very robot-looking runner like Zamir White. You know, Alexander Mattson has some shift to him, but still struggled. But these two runners, I think we got to stick with them. Absolutely. Anything else you want to add, Chris? I'll throw it to you. Anything else you want to add about the running backs and
you
what
know,
we look like?
you know, Sincere did well. I mean, average 5.3 a carry. Amir averaged 3.9. You know, I mean, the numbers show. You know, going into this game, you know, I was a little worried. I was concerned because I know AP, you know, he's all about, you know, wanting to be physical and ill intent and all that stuff, but we just don't have the personnel to do that. So, and that's what kind of worries me about him sometimes, because I thought in the beginning of this game he was just going to push the issue of trying to run the ball when that's just not our strong suit. But Sincere is more of a type of running back that he likes, you know, the guy that can hit the hole and get yards and get upfield. So, you know, it looked good, man. It looked good. And I think a big piece of that is, you know, JPJ is still down there handling business, man. I mean, he's a quarterback of the offensive line now. You know, he's making all the calls. You know, he did a good job, you know. So I think if we continue building this line, you know, someone like Sincere could have some long-term success with us.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Severe. Any final thoughts on the running back game?
Yeah, man. I just, you know, happy to see Sincere. I'm happy to see him play well, man. Hopefully, this continues. I just think back to last year where, you know, I was bamboozled. I was hoodwinked. I had the wool pulling over my eyes when I saw
Zeus.
I saw Zeus on them fresh legs. Like everybody else was on them tired legs. Zeus came in on them fresh legs. Zeus was out there galloping like one of his horses. And then, you know, and then when it was time for him to really be the guy, you know, he got exposed. So, man, you know, like I said, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. George Bush said, I'm not gonna be fooled again. So, you know, so like I said, I'm gonna take a wait and see approach with Sincere, but I am happy to see him play well.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. You look at Patrick Mahomes. That's the hard part is I'll jump back to the quarterbacks real quick. Patrick Mahomes, we let him have a day, you know, for the most part. Travis Kelce was kind of doing his thing. You know, and so there's just the pass defense. I think, you know,
we were on his ass too, though. We were on his ass. He was.
We were.
He was uncomfortable quite a bit, and he took some shots.
Man,
there was a couple times he took some shots, so he took some hits, man.
And one thing is that it's tough because DC Richardson definitely looked like he had his rookie game. I mean, it looked like he was
kind of slow chasing Worthy.
Man,
I think everybody looks slow chasing Worthy, but
yeah, I mean everyone would. I mean, but DCam, he's what? He's a 4.3 guy. Was he a 4.3?
I don't remember.
At least.
Yeah, I think he was a 4.3 guy. I think so. So I think.
No, he was fast. No, that's right. You know.
Yeah.
I think he had like one of the highest athletic testing scores of any corner. I think he was like first or second. Like, I think he was behind. I think the only person he was behind was Quinion in terms of athletic scores.
Yeah. So and then he, you know, there was a couple times where he had to go one-on-one with DeAndre Hopkins. You're going against a vet receiver, you know, and so look, you know, Chris, you're all about it last off season about Corian Bennett and having a breakout year this year, and he did. Unfortunately, he's on the IR, but you know, it's one thing that we all got to keep in mind with these cornerbacks. It's a very hard transition to go from college to now guarding NFL caliber receivers. So you're going to have those moments. Let's just hope DC Richardson kind of pull it back together and really learn from it, and definitely can contribute as the season goes on. But he definitely looked like he had his kind of rookie game where those receivers definitely took it to him. But again, there's a learning curve at the cornerback position, without question. But we'll end the conversation with you got guys in the building. I try to tell you about Aiden O'Connell. Okay, just pump your brakes just a little bit. I get he had a good game. All right. You got a lot of comments you're throwing in here. I try to tell you, okay, I just pump the brakes a little bit. All right.
Wait a minute, y'all. Did I admit? Did we win? Did,
just
but like, did we score more than 20? Did I miss like is this edited? Should that be a 37 instead of or 27? No, that's just 17, right? I'm not seeing it wrong, am I?
It's 17, big dog.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Just making sure.
So cause you're on one.
Yeah, cuz on boy. He saw something different, man. He saw something different.
He's finishing them drinks he had for Thanksgiving.
So started that eggnog, man. He on that spiked eggnog today.
Okay, like you stand on your word. I got you, but let's just be real. Like we just talked about it. It's one game. He came back. A lot of time quarterbacks have a spark. We'll see what happens. All right, we'll see what happens. All right, but man, you stand on your business. But hey, more power to you. Jared, for sure, when you talk about the run game, yeah, shout out to the run game. You know what I'm saying? Like they did a good job holding that entire Kansas City run offense to 63 yards. Isaiah Pacheco, he came out, he had that long of 34, kind of bad timing, kind of later in the game that gave him a little bit of momentum, which is tough. But at the end of the day, yeah, definitely a run defense came out and balled. So definitely can't say too much about our run defense. They came out balled. Hey, and our boy Adam Butler, I'll tell you right now, he came out strong and he wanted to make a statement.
Every game, man. Every game. I cannot wait to see him next to another dog. Man. You know, I know he getting a little older though, but I cannot wait to see a potential lineup of him and Wilkins in the middle with Kuntz and Max. I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
It's gonna be nasty. So we got to bring him back. I mean, that's one of the things where you try to extend him before. You know what I'm saying? You try to extend him before the season ends and try to lock him up because I think I'm pretty sure we only put him.
It's only 1 year. Yeah, we got him for 1 year.
I got to it. This guy's crazy, man. I love the confidence. Hey, you keep rolling, big dog. You keep rolling.
Hit the like button while you're at it, cuz.
Yeah, exactly.
We're talking, man.
Yeah, I love it. That was Elmatic. Appreciate it in the building. That was one big pill game. I'm done.
That was a blue pill game.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's do this though. Let's talk about the passing game, man. You know, Brock Bowers, hell of a job. Aiden O'Connell getting the ball to Brock Bowers.
That's a bad boy,
right?
Bro.
You gotta feed him. A lot of good throws by Aiden O'Connell, but at the same time, Brock Bowers, man. I mean, that jersey was green real quick. I mean, he was getting dirty. Yeah. He was getting active. Jacoby Myers, man, I'm telling you, if we could have just 2 Jacoby Myers, like this offense could be pretty damn deadly. You know, Jacoby Myers, he's proven that he can be a very good receiver. We're not, you know, it's still up in the air whether or not he could be a true number one, a solid number one, but you know, in the likes of like a Jamar Chase and all that, right? But man, you get 2 Jacoby Myers on this team with the Brock Bowers, it could be very, very deadly. But Brock Bowers looked good, man. Chris, I'll throw it to you first, man. What's your thoughts on the passing game? Even the deep shot to Trey Tucker, always good seeing us go deep and actually catch one.
No, for sure. I think I gotta give a lot of props to Scott, man. Scott Turner and Norv. You know, they're dialing up some stuff, and again, we all know, you know, they're still using, you know, Getsy's playbook for the most part. You know, I mean, they probably got some of their installs in as well, but you know, I just feel like, you know, the spacing of the plays are better. You know, you don't see two receivers in the same area and things like that. Look like the timing of the routes are pretty good. Guys are getting open. You know, I like what I saw, man. I just think ultimately, if we can just get a line, and I know, you know, without looking at the film, you know, it's kind of hard to see what our big boys up front were doing. But it seems like, you know, for the most part, they were doing okay. And again, we have to look and see if there was any missed receivers. But from what I saw from the air game, I'm happy. I'm happy with what I saw for sure.
Yeah, and I'm with you. Guys, you cracking me up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Keep in that comment section. Keep that energy.
Man.
Keep that energy next week. We'll see how it goes down.
Exactly. Exactly.
Severe man, what's your thoughts on the past game?
Oh yeah, man. Like Aiden O'Connell, he did a good job, man. Like early in the game, it was like the Jacoby Myers show. But Brock Bowers turned it on late, man. He had that impressive one-hand catch. He had that other long reception. Jacoby had a real nice catch as well. Trey Tucker had that long touchdown, man. I was really good to see that out of him as well. DJ Turner had that long catch and run as well. So I think we attacked them in a variety of different ways. Different areas of the field. So that was good to see, man. It seems like they felt more comfortable pushing the ball downfield with Aiden O'Connell than they had, with Gardner Minshew. So, and that could have been maybe just a Scott Turner, North Turner deal. And maybe Luke Getchie just wasn't willing to do it, or it could be a Aiden O'Connell deal where they feel he'll be a better decision maker in terms of pushing the ball downfield. So whatever it was good to see us kind of push the ball downfield. Like, look at that. Like, what was that? 4 passes at least over 20 yards. That's something we hadn't been doing previously.
And we could talk about that for a second, because here's the thing is that Gardner Minshew, we saw there was opportunities where we could have gone deep, and Gardner Minshew just didn't pull the trigger, whether he didn't trust his arm. Well, we don't know exactly what it was, but that's the hard part is, I don't know whose decision was it to start Gardner Minshew initially? Whose decision was it to continue to try to press the run game? We think it was Antonio Pierce's. And so was Getchie just, there was that one moment early in the season, might have been week 3 or week 4. It was fairly early in the season where you had AP kind of looking at Luke Getchie, basically being like middle way of the game, and basically being like, hey, Getchie, this is what you need to do. Was he pressing Getchie to force the run game? You know what I'm saying? And so, and looks like Scott Turner with Norv Turner up in the box. They might be sitting there. Norv Turner, one of the most respected offensive coordinators in his time. You know what I'm saying? He might be looking at going, hey, I'm going to do what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to do what I think is going to work, what I think is going to find us success. And AP kind of stays in his lane. And so, is that what we're seeing? Are we seeing just the flexibility in Scott Turner and Norv Turner to be able to do what they want with this offense? But at the same time, are we now seeing running backs that actually can find the hole? You know what I'm saying? So that's the other part of this.
Too. And also, Jackson being in there as well. I mean, I think that Jackson and Jordan Meredith being in there, I think that's a combo that is better than we had previously.
Yeah. Hey, Kaz, just if you're gonna get out, just get out. Jesus Christ, brother. I mean, I swear, like, I don't want to be your keyboard right now, bro. You're angry.
He's on the sauce for real.
Yeah, bro. Like, just make sure you hit that like button when you're out. Or that always wrong button, however you put it last time.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I'm saying, but at the same time, it was good seeing we fed Brock Bowers. Jacoby Myers was able to get some work in, and Trey Tucker, we finally hit that deep ball. So, man, at the end of the day, always good to see it. Always good seeing new people in the building as well, or at least people just coming in. Dave Lauricia, always good seeing you in the building as well. Everybody, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. I got Chris Protect Show podcast up top. I got the Severe Raider down below. Make sure you guys hit those channels. I'm 805 Raider, Real Talk Raider Nation. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe wherever you're at. Tubby Chili as well. Always good seeing you in the building. Guys, you're gonna keep making me laugh with your comments. You're stupid over there. All right, but We also had, I think, the defense for the most part. We'll jump over there. We talked about Caleb Von Chason, did a very good job. DC Richardson kind of had his rookie game, got exposed a little bit, but the defensive line got after it. We basically held the Chiefs for the most part to doing very minimal things. And to your point, Chris, like we got after them.
Yeah,
we got after them, and you got to love the fact that energy stayed throughout the entire game for the most part. So let's talk about that defense real quick. Chris, I'll throw it at you, man. Give us your thoughts on the defense.
Yeah, like you could tell at times the defense was, we were giving them problems. But again, dealing with someone like Mahomes, he seems to be able to get away, and escape just enough. Like that one play was just unbelievable where he got away and still threw that ball. But he, I think D-Hop may have dropped it or something. But for the most part, I think the rush was good. I think our coverage, Jack had some good plays where he covered well. D-Cam, he's a rookie. I think he competed out there. He was trying. But we're dealing with the best of the best from the offensive side of the ball. I'm proud of the defense, how they played. The way the defense played today would beat a lot of other teams. They'd beat a lot of other offenses. So, for the personnel that we had in there with all the injuries, I can't be too mad at that defense.
No, you can't. The only thing that I will say, and Severe, I'll throw it to you in a second, is the one thing that I didn't like, and this is just pure football smarts. It's also understanding the moment is when Jack Jones got beat on that double move towards kind of the tail end of the half, where it's the Chiefs are trying to go downfield or trying to move down the field. That you want to keep everything in front of you, and D-Hop hit him with that stop and go.
Oh,
and got beat.
That was nasty
Mahomes,
too.
Yeah, Mahomes put it perfectly underneath Palomal, the safety. I mean, those are the moments where keep everything underneath you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so don't bite. And it wasn't like a Jack Jones just hesitated. He bit up. It's like he wanted that moment he had last year where he picked off Mahomes. Yeah. It's almost like he was waiting for that moment. And it's just like, that's not the time. Yeah. That's not the moment. You keep everything underneath. And so that's just a little undisciplined in my opinion. But that's the only thing I'll say about Jack Jones. But Severe, man, what's your thoughts on the defense and how they did today?
Yeah, man, they did their job, man. They did an extremely good job in the run game. Outside that one long run by Pacheco late, I mean, they bottled up everything in the run game. I think they were putting heat on Patrick Mahomes all game long. Like he felt their presence. I think Dre for sure mentioned that like one of his touchdown passes was like a touchdown pass, the no look pass he threw across his body to the back of the end zone while he was getting hit. Like that's special stuff right there. That's why he's the best player in the league. So like it's nothing we can do, right? Nothing we can do with that. He's like, what are you gonna do with that? Like it's not a damn thing you can do. But other than that, man, like I think we did a darn good job. And like Chris said, this is beating like most people. This is getting most people up out of there. Most people, this is getting up out of there, right? This is like to take it to pop culture. This is like when Drake dropped "Family Matters." Like most people,
they out of there.
They out of there. He dropped that. It's a wrap, right? But he was dealing with Kendrick. It's a little bit different, So we was dealing with Pat Mahomes. We was dealing with Andy Reid. That is a different breed of individual as a head coach and as a quarterback. And then Steve Spagnuolo as well, man. Like those are three guys that are at the apex of their positions, man. So
yeah.
This is it's nothing to hang our head about. Our defense, they did a darn good job, especially being undermanned.
And you're right. And Dave Conrad, you said 3 field goals lost it for us. Offense did his job, and I agree with you because of the fact that where our offense is at this point. We have a young offensive line. Aiden O'Connell coming off of an injury, so he needs to get some chemistry with the receivers. You got running backs that are not the premier starting running backs that we want to start the season with. And so there's a lot of things that are going against our offense. And so, again, going against one of the best defenses in the league. And let's be real, Severe, kind of to your point, I think this is kind of what you said a little bit, is that like the Chiefs are winning games off of their defense. They're not winning games off of their offense.
Yep. It's true.
You know, and so our offense came in. And I do think they did their job. Yes, they came out slow, which was tough. Only I think it was 10 points in the first half or 3 points in the first half. Basically scored basically all of our points in the second half, and so it was tough. And that is a game that we're kind of relying on our special teams. And Yell Rel, appreciate you coming through in the building as well. You're saying those missed field goals were brutal. Yes, they were. And that's where, I think there was a stat that was brought up on the screen where the Chiefs have won 13, like all their 13 wins have come from one-score games.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going, the good teams figure out ways to win. The bad teams figure out ways to lose.
Every time.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of where we're at right now, unfortunately. And
thank goodness for that.
Thank goodness.
Woo!
Oh man, I'm telling you. Big 183. I appreciate you in the building. It says, let's make sure we trash Carlson for his terrible play today. AP wouldn't make no decisions at the end of the game if he at least makes 2 of those 3 field goals he missed. I mean, look. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna trash somebody that 99% of the time actually pulls through for us. He does a good job.
He's won a lot of games for us. He's won a lot of games.
I don't know if I want to just trash him. You're allowed to have a bad game or a rough game. At the end of the day, look, you are a kicker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you got a very, very easy job is you kick the field goal. You know what I'm saying? And so you definitely got to you got to put it on his shoulders and say, hey, like you screwed up 100%, but at the same time, don't forget just how much Carlson has definitely has won us some games and come in the clutch as well. So, I mean, look at shit. What's his name over with the Ravens? He's having a rough season.
Oh yeah. Tucker having it rough over there.
He's supposed to be the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's having a rough season over there.
It happens.
But I mean, this is one of how many? You know what I'm saying? And so it's tough. I'm like big 183. I feel you. It's frustrating as all hell when you got a bad game like that. But at the end of the day, man, it's like you should be allowed that one if we were a better team overall and produce the rest of the season. It just doesn't look that bad. So yeah. So yeah, we talked about special teams a little bit. Let's talk real quick. And hey, how about? I mean, definitely got to give Amir Abdul a little bit of credit on that kick return. That's back-to-back weeks. We've had pretty key kick returns. We had Dylan Labe returning one last week, which was huge, which led to us at least finishing with 7 points. And then you got Amir Abdullah taking one back. Before we kind of get away from the stats, I want to give Amir Abdullah a little bit of credit. He's really stepped up. Alexander Madsen, really, we don't see him at all because he's been on the injury report. Zamir White's been on the injury report. Amir Abdullah was a third down back that I love that we brought him back. He's a veteran, great third down back. But now he's helping out some of these younger guys, like Sasim McCormick coming up. He's helping these young guys actually producing and getting some work in, not only on special teams, but doing a hell of a job in that backfield as the number one right now. And so I definitely want to give Amir Abdullah some credit. So real quick, we're going to jump to just kind of where we're at with that loss, I think. And I just pulled this up before, and I don't know how quickly they updated, but it does look like we're still at number 2. Now we got all the weekend games to go on, but the Giants won on Thanksgiving, right? And so
they lost
on Thanksgiving. So I think everything is going to kind of stay how it is. Do we think with this weekend's games, will anything change? I mean, if Jacksonville loses, I don't think they skip us. They don't jump us.
Let me ask y'all something. I know in the past, if there were 2 teams that had the same record, they would do a coin flip. Now, did they add the strength of schedule to prevent the coin flip, or is a coin flip if the strength of schedule is still the same and then they do the coin flip?
Yeah.
Because remember, like we like how they used to do. I don't even know if they still even do the coin flip anymore.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think it's
I haven't heard of the coin flip in a long time. So I don't know.
Okay. Strength again. I remember it happened before. I remember hearing about a coin flip before. I can't remember what situation it was, but I remember
We was in a coin
I think it
flip
was
one
between
year.
like a 2 or 3 too. I want to say. I think it was between like a second and third round, second overall or third overall. I want to say. I can't remember
Yeah.
what it was.
So yeah, I was just curious. I was like, man, we might need to start looking at that strength of schedule a little bit more closely too, because
Exactly.
it could all come down to that.
Man.
And that's the thing is, I don't know, between, because Jacksonville, obviously we play Jacksonville in the next couple of weeks, and so I don't know what Jacksonville would look like if they lose. Do they jump us? So, curator in the building, I'm pretty sure she's come through. If everything is equal, it goes to a coin flip. If everything is equal, so maybe we got to look at that strength of schedule.
Okay, so it goes strength of schedule and then the coin flip. If that's okay.
So it ended in 2019.
Oh, it ended in 2019. The coin flip.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right. And Big 183, you're saying you're only as good as your last kick. In a lot of games, it is. I'm with you. And Carlson has pulled through for us quite a bit, at times. And so, but I'm with you on that. There was one. Isaiah Aaron Port, appreciate you pulling up in the building as well. And Fear Raider, appreciate you coming through. If everything is equal, goes a coin flip. Appreciate that. Super D in the building.
Hold on. Let's give Ken Kress a little love. Kind of what he said. So
right here,
yeah. Because we keep hearing that a lot, and Ken, I understand, because I used to be in your boat, man. I used to be all for, why are we talking about losing? The Raiders just need to win. This is the first time I've ever in this, but we got to get our quarterback, Ken. We have to. 9 times out of 10, we're probably going to keep. In fact, I think with a report just came out, we're going to keep Telesco. One thing we know about Telesco, he's not going to trade any draft picks. He's not going to give away his future to move up and get a quarterback. So if we get a quarterback, that quarterback's going to have to land in our lap. If we're pick number 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 times out of 10, we're not going to get the guy that we really need to get. So this is one of the first years this will probably be the only time you ever hear me say winning these meaningless games, is going to end up having us with Quinn Ewers. And I keep having nightmares about that. That's going to be our guy behind center next year.
Exactly.
I think unless you feel like Aiden O'Connell is the guy. If you think he is the guy, you know what I'm saying? And
we got to be over that by now. We have to be over that by now.
This performance opened that door again, but this performance opened that door again. As far as it's 340. Hey, O'Connell, baby. You see they all in here. I told you, Severe. I told you. Like, bro, come on now. We lost. Put up 17 points and we lost. So, but yeah, man. Like, I my question to these people that's like so like keen on us winning these games, like, what does winning games? We're out of the playoff race, right? We're out of it. We're out of the AFC West race. We're out of it, right? Completely out of it. What does winning games now do for you? Or do for the Raiders besides provide some kind of like instant gratification, some kind of like self-aggrandizement, for yourself? Like, outside of that, what does winning games do for us right now? Like, I don't understand it. Like, at this point, we should be wanting to get the best draft position possible, so that way we pick high in every single round. That way we can recoup next year and possibly win it. Outside of maybe people that want to keep Antonio Pierce and feel if we lose out that he's gone, I can see those people. But other than that, like what does winning these games do for us?
So it's not just and again, Chris, we talked about this. We talked about this in our last show. Here's my thing: is it's not just picking high in every round. Now you can control the options that you have. Right, you have the option to trade back if you want, and you can compile a bunch of draft stock. We know what the number 1 draft pick went for last year. If someone wanted to jump up to number 1, number 2 last year, you're gonna have to give up 3 first rounds, depending on when you're coming from. Even if you were like, say, 5 or 6, the amount of draft capital you had to give up to jump up to a number 1 last year was ridiculous. It was multiple number 1s. multiple number 2s. And so sitting at that number 1 draft spot with a bunch of teams that are going to want to jump up to get a Shedeur Sanders or a Cam Ward, they're going to give up the farm in order to get there. And so now you kind of hold the cards. You have the ability to either pick who you want, or you drop back, you compile draft picks, and you have the top pick in every single round moving forward. And so it's like you have to kind of put all that into consideration. And so to some,
our boy is back. I put him on timeout on my channel. He was the hot
where he at? Is he in here again?
I put him on timeout on my channel. He was the hot over one of y'all.
Is he back?
He's back.
I got him.
Oh my god, dude is back. He is
but hey, I just saw his comment though. He hit the like button though. Hey, appreciate you.
Appreciate you hitting the like, man. Hit the like. He subscribed and unsubscribed.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it. Hey, everybody follow.
Man.
Hey, everybody follow his lead. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe wherever you're at. You got Chris Protect Show podcast on one side and the Severe Raider. I'm 805 Raider, Real Talk Raider Nation. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe. And this is what we're gonna do, because it kind of falls into it. Everybody said, Tuppy Chili, you're saying need a quarterback. Drake for sure. You got, I don't know if you're saying Carson Beck,
Mr. Androgynous himself, Carson Beck.
He's saying Drew Aller. Let's just kind of see what goes down right now.
That could be that's who we could end up with if we don't get number 1 or 2, Carson Beck or Drew Aller or Quinn Ewers or yeah.
Yeah, you got AOC as our Cooper Rush. Oh man, don't say that. Don't say it to Kaz. Kaz gonna get you.
Man.
You're gonna hit that like button on your channel, wherever you at, if you got one.
Yes, I see somebody in the chat. They said now the draft is always a crapshoot. We'll address this. Draft is always a crapshoot, but the higher you are, you control what you do. Right? If you're picking number 1 overall, that's not a crapshoot. Who you pick at number 1, you get your choice of every single available prospect. It's no longer a crapshoot. At that mean the players in general are crapshoot, whether you're picking 1 or 32, but at least or 30, man. I mean, but at least at that point you control who you get. You control your destiny. You choose your own adventure. Right? If I want this guy, I can get this guy. You're not dependent on this team could trade back or something can happen in front of me, and all these other machinations that can work against you. You pick number 1 overall. You want this prospect. You want Cam Ward. You want Shedeur. Hell, you want Travis Hunter. Right? You can choose that person.
You can. No, and I agree. That you want those options. You want to control your destiny in the draft. That's what you want to control. You want full control, because we're 2-10 now.
Yeah,
right. We're 2-10. So at this point, we want to fight to control our destiny. We want to fight control everything that we can into our future. And so, a lot of people are talking about quarterbacks. A lot of people are talking about Travis Hunter as well. And so we'll talk about quarterbacks. But first, I want to talk about Travis Hunter. He's the favorite to win the Heisman Trophy winner. If we don't pick a quarterback, Travis Hunter will be sitting there at some point. Let's say we get the second or third.
Chris and John B got a legend. So this is a legendary rivalry between Chris and John B. This is Michigan, Ohio State, UCLA, USC.
Oh no, that's my stepson, man. That's my stepson.
This is the Chiefs.
I just want to make sure he's fed, man. I just want to make sure he's fed because I fed his mom. So
yeah.
This is
every time John B in the building.
This is the Celtics versus the Lakers. This is Ali Frazier. This is a legendary rivalry.
I wouldn't know what this is. This is Unc. This is Unc versus Michelle, and Michelle's his mom. Shout out John B, man.
Shout out John B. Shout out. We got. I haven't seen you, Mr. Flag Nasty, in the building. Haven't seen you in here, but I appreciate you coming through. Yeah, Super D. I don't know. I haven't seen you when I do my lives, but definitely appreciate you coming through as well. But Here's my thing. He's the favorite to win. And sorry, Mike Rain in the building. I appreciate you coming through as well. But we're going to talk about Travis Hunter really quick. Let's do this. Travis Hunter is a hell of an athlete.
Alien.
You know what I'm saying? Hell of an athlete.
Yeah, crazy with it.
Here's my only concern with him. I got two concerns. Is one, did you guys see I don't know if it was an interview, but he was talking with somebody that's in the league right now. And he basically asked them, is the league really that good? Like, is it that much harder in the league? It's almost like he's questioning whether or not the league is actually hard. And you got Deion Sanders that is without question basically pumping him up as much as he possibly can because he does want him to win the Heisman.
Yeah.
But my only concern is he going to have a come to Jesus moment when he comes to the NFL? Like, does he truly think in his mind that he is way too good for the NFL? Like, he's going to come in and just be an absolute stud and just wreck the room with the NFL like he is in college. And is he going to have his come to Jesus moment? Is he going to have that moment to where he comes to the NFL and he just can't get out of it? Like, mentally, he just can't figure out, how do I overcome this? Because he's had such success at the college level and he's balling. Now he's balling against teams that ain't that great. And I don't want to downplay any small schools. You look at, one of the best corners, one of the corners that I really liked coming out of college last year was Quinion Mitchell. And he came from a smaller school. Everybody gave him crap.
Hear that, Chris? Hear that, Chris?
And,
what's the name again?
Yeah, he cool.
But,
he cool.
But the thing is that the only problem is the mindset. I just don't know if he's going to have his come to Jesus moment come to the NFL. And if he just doesn't respect the NFL, that's my only concern is that. And so what, Chris, I'll throw it to you first. What's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on Jordan Travis?
Travis Hunter. Yeah,
Travis Hunter. Sorry.
No, he's a monster. He's a monster.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I don't want him on our team. I mean, I think he could be good. His size worries me a little bit. And his durability. Because he's been hurt the last couple years.
He has injury issues.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and he's pretty fresh. I mean, I know he's been bulking up a little bit. I mean, the kid can run with the best of them, but for one, you're not going to play both sides. You get that out of your mind. You can't. Yeah. For one, if I was him, I wouldn't want to play both sides because, I mean, unless you're going to pay me double the salary. Like I need a little bit. The bag would be crazy.
Checks.
Right, that's what I'm saying. The bag would have to be crazy, but let me ask you guys. So where do you think, if he had to pick one side, where do you think he would play?
In my opinion, again, I just started watching the quarterbacks halfway through the season, so I've seen maybe 4 full games kind of him.
Yeah.
I almost see him to maybe have more success is it maybe potentially like size-wise, I think he would be damn good as a receiver because he can move. He's got that the agility. He's got the hands. He's got the instincts. As a corner, he's undersized. I don't know if he'd be durable enough, but at the same time, he's got damn good instincts as a corner. Like, I just watched him this morning, and his instinct to be able to play zone is pretty elite. Like, he just reads the receivers. He reads the quarterback. He's just got that innate ability to understand where that ball is going to go if he's got 2 receivers in his zone. Like, he just understands it. But then again, I think he can get eaten up if teams just run at him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I agree. So I mean, but does he deserve the Heisman? I think so. I mean, he's playing amazing right now. But you get him in the NFL trying to guard some of those big receivers. I can see that being tough, honestly. And it's going to be a come to Jesus for him. So, but we'll see.
Yeah. So, Severe, what's your thoughts on it in chat? Let me know what your thoughts on on Travis Hunter. I'll bring it up on the screen. But what's your thoughts, man?
Man, I think the dude's a freak, man. He's a freak athlete. You know, I just go back to what Deion says, right? Like Deion, in some people's minds, is the greatest football player of all time. And Deion believes adamantly, he said it. He believes that Travis Hunter can play both sides.
Yeah.
He believes he keeps saying, just because you have limitations on what you think is possible, don't put those limitations on him. And you know, I personally wouldn't want him to play both sides. If I drafted him, I'm gonna put him at one position. If I'm gonna put him in a position personally, I'm putting him at corner. And you know, you don't find a lot of 6'1" corners with those kind of instincts, that kind of speed, those kind of hands, those kind of ball skills. And people thought he was undersized. He's 6'1", like 185. My number 2 corner last year was Nate Wiggins. He was 6'1", like 180. Jack Jones is 5'11", 180. Jacorian Bennett is like 5'11", 190. So it's not like he's some super small guy.
He just seems slender, maybe. Maybe it's just I never looked at his weight. He just seems real.
Extremely long limbs. That's part of it. He has extremely long limbs, so it makes him look thinner than what he actually is. But
correct me if I'm wrong, but it also feels like his play makes him look small, because I don't see him kind of getting dirty in the run game. Like he wants to come and come up and make hits.
I mean, when you playing all snaps on both sides of the ball, bro, what you want this man to do?
But then to me, I feel like you're just learning bad traits or bad just habits. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so again, to me, it's just tough because I just don't see him being physical. So it almost makes him portray like he is this undersized, lightweight guy.
Possibly. I just tell you this. I didn't see Deion come up and make too many plays in the run game either. I tell you that right now.
Don't say that. You go with the Tony Romo effect.
So you know, but yeah, man, I think if any other draft, if I was any other team, I'm running my card up and I'm taking Travis Hunter. Because look, let's say he doesn't work out a wide receiver. All right, bro, I'll throw you a corner. If you want to start him at corner, he doesn't work out a corner. All right, I'm gonna try a wide receiver. You feel me? Like it's a two-way go. You have 2 opportunities to have a possibly elite prospect drafted on your team, right? So, and we always talk about position versatility. That's position versatility like a mug. If you like, we down our number 1 wide receiver, Travis. We need you to play wide out this game, right? We stick some back to corner. We down our number 1 corner, like Travis. We need you to play corner this game. Like that's position versatility like a mug. So, and I just think the dude is just a special player. And from what they said about him, he's not a guy that goes out. He doesn't go out and party. Doesn't go out to the club. He doesn't do none of that stuff. All he does is, you know, I think they said he plays video games and he does football. That's all he does.
I think I
football
did hear that. Yeah, you're right.
And video games. That's all he does. And so that's, you know, that's if he's a ball. If he's a, you know, he loves ball. He's not going to be a troublemaker. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it's good points. Definitely good points.
And I did bring. I don't know if I brought this up, but you guys are about someone else. The last time that there was like a can't miss wide receiver prospect, and there was a kind of high upside quarterback, and we went with the high upside quarterback.
Oh God!
We know how that went.
So here's the thing. So you're going to transition a little bit to the next point that I want to talk about just for a second is because we talked about Travis Hunter on whether or not he'd be the right guy. We'll talk about quarterbacks and let's do this real quick. Chris, we talked about it on the last show a little bit. Is there a quarterback right now? The top ones are Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, right? Those are really the top 2 being talked about at this point. If we sit at number 1, do we pick one of those guys? If we sit at number 1, and Chris, I kind of gave you my opinion on the last show. I'll definitely hit you guys again with it, but Severe, I'll throw it to you first because we talked about it, but you weren't with us on that one. But if we're sitting at number 1, would you pick one of the top 2 quarterbacks?
Without a doubt. I'm picking one of the top 2 quarterbacks without a doubt. Unless it's a situation where, you know, like all these teams' boards are different. All these teams' boards are different, right? We know what happened with the Panthers last year. Last year, Frank Reich had CJ Stroud as number one guy. They elected to take Bryce Young instead. So they were in a position where they should have taken, who was their number one quarterback. They didn't. And I think when the Chiefs picked Mahomes, I think they had Mahomes as their number one quarterback that year, right? They picked him at 13 or wherever they picked him. So depending on how your board falls, if you have identified somebody as your number one guy that's maybe different than the rest of the league, you can trade back and still get them. I'm good with that. But if your number one guy is Cam or Shador, you take Cam or Shador.
Chris, what's your thoughts? Because then I'll give you mine.
Yeah, so me personally, I'm big on Cam. So I definitely like Cam a lot. I think Cam is someone that can move the needle for us for years to come. But if we did have the number one pick and teams started, offering 4 first-round picks and stuff like that, then it's like, you're starting to listen, man. You're starting to listen a little bit, because as much as I like Cam, I got to look at the long game, and it'll be hard to say no. But I think ultimately it's going to be hard for me to say no on Cam Ward, man, if we're at number one. But if they offered something that I couldn't resist and I could still stay within the top 10, then I would potentially take a look at yours. Yeah. I rock with 10 Ewers with 4 more first round picks. We'll rock out, man.
Don't be throwing that out there, Sabir. Don't be doing it. But I'm gonna give you my opinion on it real quick. But before I do, shout out to some people. Clifford, the Black Bear, appreciate you in the building. Noah John Marshall, someone said you're a Chiefs fan, but hey, appreciate the building. I think that's what it said. You're a Chiefs fan. I apologize if I'm wrong. Tyron Raider in the building. I appreciate you coming through. Rod Gass in the building. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. We got Chris Protect Shield podcast, The Severe Raider. I made a 5 Raider, Real Talk Raider Nation. Appreciate you guys in the building. Make sure you guys hit that like button wherever you're at. So this is all in assuming that we're going to have the number one pick. Okay, even number 2. Let's just say, but I'm gonna stand on it because again, now I've seen basically 4 full games of Shador Sanders. I don't think Shador Sanders is a number 1 draft pick. I do not think we take him at the number 1. I don't think he's worthy enough of a number 1. Reason being is because one, I mean, I think who's that offensive coordinator over there?
Pat Shurmur.
Pat Shurmur.
Yeah.
I think he's doing him no favors. The amount of screens that this guy runs is crazy. I mean, Shador Sanders has like a 73% completion rating. It's because he throws 80% screens all day long. So I don't think he's helping him in any way. Number 2, he's not as mobile as I think he thinks he is.
Yeah.
He wants to try to move around the pocket. He is not very good at it. So, and compared to the defense that he's playing, that Shador Sanders sees, you can times that speed by 3 when he gets to the NFL. And so I think he's not going to find success there. If you look at in the past, let's just look at last year, right? Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels were clearly the top quarterbacks. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels were clearly a number 1, number 2 draft pick. There was no question on whether or not those guys should have went extremely high in the draft, number 1, number 2. Shador Sanders, if you were in that draft with Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, you wouldn't even been touched. I don't think Shador Sanders is better than Michael Penix. I don't think he was better than Bo Nix. I think that there's a chance he's not better than J.J. McCarthy. And so if you put all that together, I don't see – I think the only reason why he is considered number 1 is because it's a very weak quarterback class this year. I think that's the only reason why. And number 2, I think that the NFL is really hyping this up. I mean, can you imagine the narrative and the hype that the NFL is going to get as Shador Sanders, Deion Sanders taking every interview possible in this offseason, making sure that he hypes up Shedeur Sanders to get that number one. The NFL is going to eat it up because it's going to be nothing but coverage. And the thing is that I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders is a bad quarterback. I'm not saying that he has a chance at being a decent quarterback in the league. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. I don't think he's maybe a top 15 quarterback at all in this league. He's got to go to a damn good system to potentially find success with him. But to pick him at number one, not even close. I don't even think you even look at him. I think you take the 3 first-round draft picks some stupid team is going to give us to jump up to get him. So now, Cam Ward. Cam Ward, I think, is a guy that if you want to take a chance on, sit him for 1 year, let him learn, and develop him. Okay, I think I'd be okay with if we took a chance at that. I think there's a lot of upside with Cam Ward. Sorry, and one thing I'll go back to Shedeur Sanders is that the hype of him being with Tom Brady and all that stuff, it's like it's hyping him up to the point where I don't know how much him working with Tom Brady for a couple weeks in an offseason.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like he's working with them day in and day out.
Exactly. That's what I try to tell people.
It's like, okay, that's great. I think it's just you're just talking about it. It's just talk at this point. I would much rather take the potentially 3 first-rounders and a couple second-rounders to get Shedeur Sanders and let somebody else take Shedeur Sanders. But Cam Ward is the one that I would be okay with if we took a chance, sat him, brought in a veteran, and kind of worked him into potentially being the future. Now, one guy, and Chris, I said this on the last show, is one guy that I am willing to take a really look at, and that's if he stays potentially 1 more year. And it's tough because the draft is never guaranteed. Is Drew Aller? Drew Aller is definitely another guy I don't want to keep watching. And if you get a couple more first-round draft picks,
you could package something up.
You could package it up and jump up next year if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Now, again, nothing's guaranteed. He could tear an ACL all of a sudden, and now your plans are out the window. So you don't want to necessarily bank on that. But at the same time, I don't want to just all of a sudden, if you pick Shedeur Sanders number 1, you're going to risk at least 3 more years to make sure he is the guy. If he doesn't end up being the guy, and you pick somebody in year 4, and now you let him develop, we might be 5-6 years away from potentially having success if you make this mistake this coming year. So that's my only concern is you pull the trigger on Shedeur Sanders. I just don't think he's worth a number 1 draft pick this year. That's just my opinion. Severe, what's your thoughts on that? Do you agree, disagree? What's your thoughts?
So I mean, Cam is my number 1 guy. But I will say this may sway your opinion, but it could very likely solidify your opinion. And that is that, Field Yates and Mel Kiper Jr. both said that if Shedeur, pre-draft, this is not like looking at what they've done in the league right now. So this is like just based on pre-draft analysis done prior to this last draft. If Shedeur was in that draft class, he will be 4th. It will be Caleb, Jaden, Drake May, and then him. Shedeur. That's what both of them said. And Phil Yates said it was kind of hedging between him and JJ McCarthy, just because JJ McCarthy doesn't have as many starts.
He's better than JJ. He's better than JJ.
I'm not a fan. I'm not even getting into JJ, right? There was a certain person that told me JJ McCarthy was number 1 quarterback in the last draft, and I'm not talking about this guy. But
I mean that's a reach. That's a reach.
But like I said, I had Jaden Daniels as my QB1. I had Michael Penix as my QB2. I had Caleb as QB3. But but they both had him at 4. So it wasn't just like Mel Kiper, it was just Phil Yates. They both had him at 4.
So they had him above Penix.
They had him above Penix, they had him above Bo Nix, and they both had him above JJ McCarthy. But Phil Yates said it was kind of like hedging between him and JJ just because JJ has more physical talent, but Shedeur has many more starts. He's much more polished, higher IQ, all that stuff. So it's kind of, do you want the young guy you can kind of mold with all the traits, or do you want the guy that's more polished, more accurate, higher IQ type deal? So they both had him at 4. So they both felt he would have been worthy of a first round pick even last year in the 6 QB draft. So that's their opinion. Neither one of them are really. I think Kuiper has Shedeur as number 4 on his big board. He has Cam Ward at 10. So they're both higher on Shedeur than they are at Cam. Me personally, I'm higher on Cam, a higher upside. I think just athletically more gifted. If I'm gonna draft the guy number 1 overall, I'm swinging for the fences. I'm not going to take the safer guy. I'm taking a guy that can be, that can be Pat Mahomes, that can be Josh Allen, that can be that kind of guy. That's who I'm taking number 1 overall. So, but if you're gonna go your route, I mean, I'm not packaging no picks to move up for Drew Aller next year. It's you got
Manning.
Nussmeier is a guy that's going back. He could be a guy that's gonna be drafted highly next year. You got Arch coming back, be potentially drafted high next year, depending on how Milroe finishes the season this year. He might decide to come back because he's having a rough go at things recently. He can be in next year's class. That may be a guy you take a look at. So if you're going to go that route, there's a few guys I probably take before I take Aller. But Aller is a good prospect as well. But I think Tom Telesco will be drooling to get his hands on Drew Aller. No,
absolutely,
no Diddy.
Yeah. Honestly, even what's his name? Dart. I could see him liking someone like Dart too. Depending on how he looked, during pro day and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. It's tough. It's still a lot of football to be played. I definitely want to really see what these guys do in the playoffs, in the college playoffs. But Mel Kiper, I think they're insane to put Shedeur over Penix. Because for one, I think Penix is more athletic, and he by far throws the ball better, like arm talent. Yeah, so like just that right there. So, I think he's a little off base there.
And I guess here's my thing is when it comes to like Drew Aller, right? Look, if he comes out this year, he is without question a quarterback that needs to sit a year and learn. But I think all these quarterbacks need to sit a year and learn. And so I can only look at a scenario to where if we have the number 1 draft pick and you actually and you fall back, you compile some additional draft capital, a couple of number 1s in the future, a couple of number 2s. We have 2 number 3s this year. The one kid that, man, I just feel like, the one thing you want to do with a quarterback is you want to surround a quarterback with weapons.
Yeah.
We talked about Travis Hunter, but man, that kid from Arizona State, that receiver,
McMillan, that dude's a freak.
He looks like
that dude is a freak. That dude he's clear. He's good. He's the number 1 receiver in the draft. He's the number 1.
Yeah. And here's my thing is that, like, if you can stay inside the top 10, you drop back, you stay inside the top 10, you stay inside the top 6, let's just say. You draft that kid. Now you got Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers. I mean,
Tucker. Yeah. You got some guys.
It's like you now are starting to build and you're surrounding your quarterback with talent. And that's the one thing you don't want to do. Now, this is why sometimes some later round quarterbacks find success is because they go into a situation where there's already developed talent. You look at Brock Purdy, right? Brock Purdy, the last pick of the NFL draft, but he goes into a situation where he has a lot of talent around him to help him with the transition to the NFL. Now you're picking up a rookie wide receiver, but man, this kid just looks like an absolute stud. So if you could drop back and pick that kid up, and then you get a quarterback in the 2nd round, or you pick up a veteran quarterback, to me, I just feel like now you're starting to really build a roster. Because man, I do want to watch more of that Arizona State kid or that Arizona kid, but man, the more I watch him, it's almost like Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers was that pick. There's very few. I think Bijan Robinson was one of them, but Brock Bowers was that pick, this last draft pick that they said that was like I guess what they call it. Like you cannot go wrong with that pick.
Exactly. Yeah, can't miss.
The can't miss pick. Brock Bowers was the can't miss pick. I wonder if this Arizona State quarterback is that kid. He's that can't miss pick. Where you snag him and you now solidified, a potential number one receiver. You match him up opposite of Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers. I mean, that could be nasty.
Yeah, because he's gonna be one of those guys that I imagine is gonna wow people at the combine. Kind of like his measurables are gonna be good. If he messes around and runs well and jumps well and does, has a good 3-cone and all that, yeah, he's gonna be noticed quickly.
Yeah, exactly. John Leone, appreciate you in the building. We need a left tackle in the draft. Colton Miller, I mean, he's improving week over week.
No.
It looked like he got beat a couple times this game. But you're going against a good Chiefs defensive front. But I definitely want to see how DJ Glaze continues to progress the rest of these games and going into the offseason. But I think O-line is definitely something we got to prioritize. Dylan Parham, we need another guard without question.
Yeah.
Without question.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think, and again, Raider Paul in the building, I appreciate you. I think because of the
to the point.
Yeah. Because of the game film that we continue to watch, we review it on Tuesdays. We know that Dylan Parham right now is really the weakest link on this offensive line.
Yes.
JPJ, it's tough. Like JPJ, I think he's having his rookie moments again, the off snap, as well as I think he had that. What was it, a holding penalty?
Yeah.
He had a penalty earlier in the game.
Yeah, he threw the guy down and then he dove on him.
Yeah, he's gonna hurt himself. Damn it. He is gonna hurt.
I love the dude though, man. Honestly, if I'm a coach, I'm not coaching that out of him, man. Because that's that mentality. I'll take the penalty here or there. Keep that dog in him.
But he is gonna have some. He is gonna have some self-inflicted wounds.
He will.
Kid.
He will.
My God.
He has no regard for his body. He don't mind just leaving his 2 feet. Wherever he lands, he lands. He don't care.
I know. M85, I appreciate you in the building as well. And we got Chiefs fan in the building. All right, whatever. All right, I'll bring you up to you. One time, that's it. But I appreciate you.
Thank you for helping us get our quarterback.
Yeah. Right.
Appreciate that.
You guys
appreciate the help,
100%.
Yeah.
Daniel Simano in the building. I appreciate you coming through as well. So look, we broke down the game. At the end of the day, Aiden O'Connell came in. He did well. He did his thing. Cannot complain about what he did. But I think what it's going to do is it is going to rile up the Raider fan base again, because as we saw earlier in the show, the Aiden O'Connell fans going to be they're going to be rocking. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness!
But the defense played well. The running game, as long as we can get some runners that can figure out how to find the holes, the agility to make the right cuts, it's definitely going to help out without question. This offensive line and the run game where we looked a little more balanced.
Definitely.
So, but this is what we're gonna do. With the final thoughts, we're gonna leave you guys with this. Severe, let us know. Let everybody know that's in the building. We got over 300 in the building. I appreciate everybody. Let us know what you got up, what you up to, and what they can look forward to with you and your channel.
You guys know what it is, man. It's at the Severe Raider on YouTube, at the Severe Raider on IG, X, TikTok, Snapchat, all over the place. Every Tuesday, rocking with my brothers. You see on the screen. We'll be going over some film, reviewing this game, really taking a long look at what Aiden did. I'm sure we're gonna see some good, and we're gonna see some bad as well. Looking at what Sincere did, as every Tuesday, we take a look at the film. Then Tuesday evenings, I got the 50-50 show with my guy Pharaoh, and then Friday nights, rocking out. Usually Friday nights. I think this week we dropped it on Thursday or we dropped it Friday morning. But we got the Around the Shield with my guy Pharaoh and Big Mike, and I'm trying to squeeze something else in there, man. For myself, it's kind of hard to find time. My son's in the Super Bowl this Sunday.
Okay.
Next Sunday. Ironically, they play the Raiders. They play the Raiders.
From where though?
The Chiefs.
From where?
It's the Harbor City Raiders. It's kind of the Harbor area, but basically Harbor City Raiders. So, it's them in the Super Bowl. So we'll see if they bring home the chip. But after that, football season is over. So I have a lot more free time. Outside of that, I'm just taking it to trainers and stuff. But I can work. I'll be a little bit more freedom. So yeah, man, dropping some more stuff, man. So hey, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man, that's legit, man. 100%. And Chris, man, what's going on? What you got going over there? Let us know.
Man, so I got this show every post game, always got this show. And then like Severe said, we're gonna do our breakdown of the film every Tuesday. And then Wednesday, when I'm not with John B's mom, I have my show with Spicy Raider Girl every Wednesday. And then on Thursday, I have
John B. Let us know you're still in the building. I hope you're still in the building.
And then on Thursday, I have I got my Shield Talk Thursday, and I gotta get back to that. I've been having some things with work and some other things that's been causing me to miss that, so I need to get back at that. Besides that, man, just rocking and rolling, man, just giving this content, and that's it, man.
Yeah, man, that's good. At the end of the day, we're 2-10 now, so it's tough. It's hard. I think the mass majority of us, we're definitely reviewing this team, and one of the biggest things. Oh, there he is. I see him. I see you, John B. I see you. But one of the biggest things is we're 2-10, but you're still reviewing. You're still evaluating as a fan. You're evaluating players, position groups to see what do we want to move forward with as the season goes on into the off season. Right? As a fan, that's how you kind of understand what do we need in the draft, what do we need in free agency, all that, and that's why we review film on Tuesdays. Also, at the end of the day, we're still evaluating Antonio Pierce. Antonio Pierce still needs to prove that he is the guy. A lot of people can say you don't want to continue to switch coaches and continue to shift coaches in and out. I get that. I understand. But you also don't want to ride the same train when you know that thing's going to derail eventually. Like you see the signs that it's going to derail, then just let it go off the track. Just let it rock. Let it be its thing.
Bottom out.
And you got to move on, because then you continue to ride that wave, and that thing at the end of the day isn't going to find you success. And so Antonio Pierce still has, 6 more games? Or no, what are we? We're 10-2? So we got 5 more games?
Yeah, 5 more.
He's got 5 more games to prove this fan base that he still deserves a chance to be the Raiders coach. Because if you want a quarterback early, then that's going to be the guy that's going to make that quarterback successful. And do you think that's the guy? You know what I'm saying? Or is he going to waste another first-round draft pick like we've done for so many years outside of Brock Bowers? So, that's what we're still paying attention to. We're 2-10. It's tough, but I appreciate everybody in the building. I appreciate you guys coming through. Make sure you guys hit that like button wherever you're at. I got Chris, Protect the Shield podcast. Make sure you guys go over there and subscribe. Hit that like button. I got The Severe Raider. Make sure you subscribe. I'm 805 Raider, Real Talk Raider Nation. Appreciate all you guys in the building. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of the weekend of football. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Make sure you check in. John B, make sure you check in as well. Damn it.
His mom checks in.
His mom checks in.
I had cranberry sauce on her and everything. Never mind. Hey, have a good one, y'all.
Right away. All right, yeah. Appreciate y'all, you guys. Make sure you guys check in. Hit that like button on your way out. We appreciate you. We'll see you guys Tuesday night. Make sure you guys check in. We'll see you guys on the next one. We're out.
Cranberry sauce. I've never eaten